woke up, paid, thought this was a dream. I just made me a play, just the boss of my team. Addicted to diamonds, spent 80 on jewelry. I know I leave, probably think I'm a fiend. Live every day like this is my last. I just sold a few bags and I fled the scene. I don't want no big talk back, I ain't here now. That I need my to be like a king.
Hey, what's going on, y'all? You are now tuned in with IHH podcast. Today we have a special guest, a childhood friend, and she was a graduate of SFA. She finished grad school at SMU, and she have a private practice of mental essence counseling. Today we have you, Ekra Blaylock.
Thank you.
You have been doing your thing. I've been hearing so much about you and what you're doing. Mm-hmm. Hey, let's clap up for her.
Thank you, studio audience. We really appreciate y'all.
Oh yeah, no doubt. At IHH, man, we make sure our guests feel definitely welcome and they feel the love. You know what I mean? Mm. And so, how long right now have you been in practice for what you do?
I would say it's been about just a year. Like, I officially made it a PLLC back in 2024. Yeah.
Okay.
So.
And starting off, like, what was the motion for you, like, starting when you first started?
Kind of like my plan.
Yeah.
I think when I went into grad school, I originally was like, I'm gonna have a private practice. Oh. That was kind of like my whole thing. I was like, I want my own practice. That's what I want to do. I want to have my own business, essentially. And so I was like, I know for the beginning, I'm gonna start working in a hospital, try to get experience so that I have more experience in my practice. But usually when you get your license, you're an associate and you have to have a supervisor. Mm. And so my supervisor was like, oh, just go ahead and do it now. Like, you don't have to wait. Like, I know you're still trying to get like your associate hours. Do it now.
Right.
And I was like, okay, well. So it kind of just was like, I need to figure out what my name was going to be. And I kept thinking about it and I was just like, I can't figure it out. I don't know what's something that's going to stick. And then in the middle of the night, I was like, mental essence. That's cute. I like that.
Right.
And I sent it to her and she was like, oh, that's perfect. And I went ahead and did it.
So what is it exactly that you do? Like, what is your practice?
So basically, I am an LPC associate, so that just means a licensed professional counselor associate. And it's an associate because I'm provisionally licensed. So basically in the state of Texas, you have to have 3,000 hours supervised before you are officially on your own. So that's why I have a supervisor. And I pay her, unfortunately, it's a lot of money. Yeah. So I pay her monthly until, like, I can be on my own. And so in my practice, I primarily see kiddos, like adolescents. I think the youngest I've ever seen was 3.
Okay.
And then the oldest I've seen has got to be like 65. And so I start with that, but then my like niche or my specialization is eating disorders.
So I got a question. Seeing a 3-year-old, mm-hmm. What's the type of interactions like can you help like that you can do like to help a 3-year-old?
Okay, so with that, there's a different type of specialization for therapy. It's called play therapy. Mm-hmm. And so it really is a room full of toys and you allow them to like just kind of be their own person. Mm-hmm. And so like if they picked up something random and they were like, this is an airplane, it's an airplane. Mm-hmm. But a lot of the times the parents are in the room too. And so I'm showing them how to interact, especially when kids are like showing different things of like trauma or aggression. That's really what it is that the aggression, they're like, I don't know how to handle them. Right. So what do? I don't want to spank them. I don't want to do this. And it's just not working. So I'm kind of showing them this integrative like parenting style, mm-hmm. which I also do like parenting as well.
Oh, that's dope. So I do see that too. Like just on the internet, I hear a lot of parents sometimes, they say like, I need a break. Like I really just need a break. And I know that takes a lot for a parent to know, like to raise a child, it's a lot, right?
Yeah, it takes a village
you have to definitely, you gotta work on yourself, mm-hmm. like your patience, like, to not just get angry at the kid because they're just being a kid,
right.
So I know it's a lot for a parent too. Mm-hmm. So when you get those kids in there, so you basically like helping the parent too in a way, even though like you're there for the kid, but you still be like showing the parent like this is how you got to do it when you at home with them.
Yeah, and I tell them too, I'm like, you're your kid's expert, but like I know what I'm doing because I've like been through school and things like that, but I would never tell them like you don't know what you're doing because you're with your kid 24/7. I'm only with them like an hour to 2 hours out of the week. So a lot of that, it's kind of like, hey, like have you tried this strategy? It seems like you're really frustrated, or like, hey, I think they're really looking for attention, or they're trying to have a power dynamic with you. That's what I'm seeing on the outside. So this is how you kind of settle the score and still get what you want.
And so for the people like myself, are you a therapist, psychiatrist, like what, like?
Okay, so I'm a therapist.
Okay.
The difference is it's kind of like with a psychiatrist, that's a medical doctor. So they went and got a PhD, they're prescribing medications, they're just specifically for like mental illnesses. And so,
Because we was getting that confused. Honestly, like I really didn't understand. I'm just like, we're going to have to ask her.
For a psychiatrist, you would call them Dr. So-and-so, whatever. And like they can still do therapy, but a lot of the times they are just kind of like doing med management. That's really it.
So like when it comes to like a kid's mental health, obviously you deal with children. What type of activities do you usually like just give a child?
It depends too, because sometimes I do it virtually. And so they have these different like softwares and stuff like that where it's like therapy corner and y'all are doing like different things of like a feeling wheel. Like I even send my friends that too. Like they're like, I don't understand what I'm feeling. And so I send it to them and then they have so many different words.
So many different feelings. You know, I did that. I did that. I learned so much and about the different feelings. So like when somebody just like, when I ask somebody like, how you feel today? They just be like, I'm good. I'm like, no, like
that's not a feeling
word. How do you really feel? Right. And so like some people thought I was tripping and I was like, nah, like how do you really feel?
Exactly.
Like,
or you could just be like, I'm indifferent. Like, and that's a feeling, right? Or I'm resentful, I'm skeptical, like those things like that. People say, I'm fine. And I'm like, that's not real.
That's not a feeling.
That's not how you really feel.
When I be asking people, I be really wanting to like give me like,
and being honest, right? Because in passing, a lot of times people are kind of like, oh, I'm good, because they're thinking nobody cares. They're just, oh, I need to say this so that everybody can go about their day.
Right.
But if someone stops and says, no, seriously, like, how are you? They're like, this is weird. This is a different interaction.
Yeah, most definitely. So how does like our mental health affect our physical health?
Ooh, sometimes it's the other way around. Like the way that you eat and you sleep will definitely affect you, and where you're like isolating more and then kind of going more into depression, which then they're like, well, I don't want to eat, or they're anxious and they're like, I can't eat, because they're having like these stomach problems where they're really, really nervous and unsettled. So it kind of, I feel like also physical actions too, in terms of exercise. Like exercise definitely makes you feel like more energized throughout the day, even though you're tired during the workout or whatever and things like that. So I think more of the physical affects the mental versus the other way around.
Gotcha.
Depending on what it is.
Okay. No, that makes sense. That makes sense. And so like doing what you do, sometimes do you just like find yourself like, I'm not gonna call it giving advice, but just like you just be having to help everybody?
I definitely do not give advice.
No, I know. That's why I said
it's a liability.
That's why I said that. That's why I said you're not giving advice.
They'll come back and say, well, you told me to do blah, blah, blah. I never said that. So I definitely suggest things. Like, I was like, if you want me to be honest, and you have to give me permission. I'm never going to come out and say, you should do blah, blah, blah.
Right.
I'm like, if you just want me to be honest, I will. And they'll say, yes, just please tell me what you think.
Right.
And so I say, like, I don't think this is a really great idea, or this seems like it's not really aligning with your goal. Just trying to be very curious about it, where it's like, you told me that you really want to do this, but this doesn't seem like, what you really want to do in the end.
Right. So I'm saying though, like, far as just your relationships, just with friends or whomever, family, sometimes do you find yourself like in that position with them, like, I gotta help. I got to, like, I just
no, definitely not. I have to help. Okay, I will say in relationships for sure. Like, I feel like I have to help because I'm like, okay, this is also affecting me. Like, I see that you're struggling and I really want you to do well. With family, sometimes I try and then I'm just like, okay, this is annoying I'm just gonna back up out of this because family will say, oh well, I was thinking about this. You think this is depression? They just kind of press it on you, and I'm not working. I'm actually really tired. I'm tired.
Oh wow.
I'm tired of talking.
Yeah.
With friends, I try to just stay a friend. Like I would give them advice or say things I would not say to my clients.
Got you. That makes sense. So sometimes, like, obviously you're human, right?
Absolutely.
Who do you find yourself talking to?
Oh, I have a therapist.
Okay.
Yeah,
Okay.
there are therapists who see therapists.
Oh wow.
So it's kind of like a roundabout thing. Like we have therapists.
But then they got to see somebody.
Yeah, absolutely. They have therapists who see therapy, things like that. And it's kind of like an inside little thing because the therapists that I see, we kind of work from the same theory, and we've seen similar clients. And so I tell her, I want your advice or like what you've done in my position. So and she'll tell me. I
saw a therapist once, twice, and then I did another set of therapy. It was like 9 months straight.
Okay.
And I thought I was like, I don't know, I thought I was better than everybody, right? But I was always like, somebody be talking to me, and I'd be like, have you ever went to therapy? Like, you know what I'm saying? They be like,
it do feel like that, though. Because you're like,
because you feel like like I unlocked another level, and then like you'll hear something they going through, and you be like, bro, you need to go to therapy.
Yeah,
like,
you
what I mean?
really
it's
need
okay.
help.
Like it's cool. Like yeah, you know what I mean? Like it's okay.
Exactly.
But like what's the stigma like with mental health, and like how can we change that? Like some people would be like, oh, people don't like talking about it. Like it's like, nah, that's kind of like,
I feel like
nothing is wrong with me. I'm good. Like
they're like, oh no, I can fix it or whatnot. There's so many different stigmas of like religion, right? Like pray it away. Like that's the devil talking to you. You just need to pray it away. And then there's also like the stigma in like minorities of like that's only white people have those problems, like those type of things. And then you also have pretty much like you said, like I don't have a problem, or I find this too of like people saying I don't feel comfortable just talking to a random stranger about my things. And I'm like, well, also the guy that you probably just met in the club and you're talking to him on the phone, you're talking to a random stranger then.
Random stranger.
So what's the difference,
And you getting comfortable telling them about you.
Exactly. So like, how did you meet your best friend? That was a stranger, and you guys just started communicating and saying different things that maybe were in your closet or like skeletons that you had on your own.
Right.
That's how you make friends. Now, this is a little bit different because this is somebody that has boundaries. This is a professional relationship, but you still are talking to a stranger.
Yeah, 100%.
Yeah.
100%. I do think though, like, just as a black man, I feel like most of us, like, well, all of us should go to therapy.
Yeah.
Like, you know what I mean? Like, just to keep us on our game, like, because a lot of us seen traumas and just went through different types of childhood traumas that we just bottled up, like, you know what I mean?
I think even as a black person though, like you don't even have to have seen anything. You could have had a perfect life. And as a black person or in any minority, you need to go to therapy. Yeah. You have had trauma that has stemmed from every part of your life in terms of generations. Yeah. And it just shows up. Like people will say, oh, I don't talk to my dad or I don't talk to my mom, but things that they've done will show up in your life and you're like, I don't know why this is happening to me or why I'm reacting this way. It's just genetics, you know? So I think any minority in general needs to go to therapy.
Damn.
Yeah.
I feel that.
Yeah.
And when they see this, they might definitely be like, you know what? She right.
Yeah.
Like I'm all about helping people even when I don't know it. Yeah. So like if I do something and like it enlightens somebody to want to go do this, like I'm with that too. And like that's what type of platform I want to always have, like, where people can be able to learn something. Like for me, this is different for me.
Right.
We haven't had a therapist that come on the show, so
nice.
So so like you definitely the first therapist, and like they have been telling me that you were a therapist, and I was like, damn, I didn't know that. Like you know what I mean? Like that's cold. Like
Thank you.
That's really.
I try to hide that sometimes because I don't like when people say like, oh, you're a therapist. Tell me what I'm thinking. What?
Tight.
When did I become a medium? I didn't know that. Like, they're like, oh, you're a therapist. Are you therapizing me right now? And I'm like, no, I'm actually just having a cocktail. So just not understanding what is it about therapy, or I definitely don't say that on the plane. I would lie and say I'm an accountant. I would say I do interior decorating. I would say I decorate cakes before I say I'm a therapist, because I do not want to hear about why your wife left you and why you don't have custody of your kids anymore. I'm just trying to relax and be a normal human being.
Also, like that's how some people do if they find out you're
trauma dumping for sure.
Oh wow.
They're like, oh my gosh,
can you help me? I'm gonna get a free session real quick.
Absolutely. And I think the worst thing is like when a guy is trying to talk to me and they're like, oh my gosh, can you be my therapist? I have so many problems. Actually, that is a turnoff. I don't want to hear how psychotic you are. I'm okay, you know? But they think that's so cool. They're like, oh, I can't wait to tell you about all my problems.
Yeah.
Ew.
What inspires you though, like to just become a therapist? Like, just what was it that just did it for you?
I had my own struggles. Like, even growing up, like middle school, I think really did it for me. It was where I was like, oh, I don't have anybody to talk to. Like, I mean, I had friends, right? But like, it was just different. Like the stuff that I was going through, I was like, I wish somebody lived with me, like a sibling, because I'm the only child on my mom's side at least. And I was like, I wish somebody lived with me that I could just tell them everything that was going on, or like, am I strange for going through this? And I was just like, okay, like I've had depression, I've been suicidal and things like that before. And so I was like, right around, I would say like 9th grade, I was like, I want to be a child and adolescent psychologist. I thought I wanted to be a psychologist at first. And then I had an advisor during undergrad basically tell me that they wouldn't accept me into grad school because my GPA was so low. And even if I got it up to the highest thing, it would just be a lot. You know what I mean? Right. And I was just like, oh. And then I kind of stumbled across like counseling, because I thought to be a therapist, you had to be a psychiatrist or a psychologist. And I stumbled across it at the school, and I was like, oh, okay, how long does this take? They're like, this is a master's degree. Yeah. I was like, okay, I can do that. Yeah. So I just started really working and grinding hard so that I can just apply anywhere.
Yeah, so like where you at now, like in your career, and just doing everything that you like have got done, like, did you see this for yourself? Like, did you say, oh, I already knew I would be here?
Oh, absolutely not.
Okay, I'm just asking.
Absolutely not. I'm really shocked. Like, okay. I knew. I mean, I guess I kind of knew because I said, "Oh, I want to do private practice." Like, I knew that I wanted to do that, but I didn't know what it would look like. I didn't know the name. I didn't know how I was going to get there. I was just like, "Yep, that's what I want to do." Mm-hmm. And so I was just like, "This is cool." Obviously, I want to do more, right? But I want to actually own a nonprofit too. Okay. And kind of do like biannually or just.
What's the steps of getting a nonprofit? Is it hard?
I have no idea, to be honest. I genuinely don't know, but I want to do a nonprofit with my colleagues.
We're going to chat GPT it.
It's so, absolutely. Absolutely.
How do we start the nonprofit?
And figure out how to do that. I
have a friend in Houston doing it. He's starting a nonprofit right now. He's a security guard, but he's starting a nonprofit. He seemed stressed about it. He seemed like very stressed about it. Yeah. So like I was just like, dang, how hard is it?
And I heard it helped pay off student loans too. So I'm trying to do that.
No, for sure.
Trying to do that.
No, for sure. And especially like when you're doing it for, a good reason to give back to people, I think like that's a.
I want to do free therapy in like poverty-ridden areas.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right now, they call them the YNs. You know what I'm saying? I believe.
Yeah.
It will help, like real talk.
I had a parent that was just asking me, what does that mean? Oh. Because their kid was saying it at school and actually said, I'm going to Swiss cheese you.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, I had to tell her what that meant.
He told somebody else they're going to Swiss cheese him? Mm-hmm. Oh, my gosh. Were they in like middle school?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's the music.
Yeah.
I hate to say it, it's the music.
Said Swiss cheese. Okay,
it's the drill music.
Oh, for sure.
Dang, man.
For sure.
Yeah, that's when it's gonna change for us. I feel like that, for the black people, just for period though. Like I feel like once the kids start getting the therapy that they need, for the people who are like who want it, like who not like resisting, you know what I mean? I feel like it's gonna change a lot of that.
Yeah, I definitely get a lot. Well, I feel like since I switched jobs here recently too, I've gotten a lot of resistance in kids and sometimes even in adults.
Because it's not cool.
Yeah.
But I'm just saying though, like to the average person, like if they see NBA YoungBoy going to therapy a lot, they may be like, you know what?
Yeah.
Let me do this.
Or like you said, like I don't have a problem, and it's like, well, that's not really why people go, you know? Like.
And I'm gonna start doing that more too. I'm gonna start getting on there, even though I know to the public eye, right, it's corny or like, oh, it's not cool. But I'm gonna start saying like every now and then, like, hey, you should get you a therapist. You know what I mean? Just also,
and even just saying like, I've been before. I've
been before, yeah. So I'm gonna start doing that. But you know, I'm not tripping, right? But some people be like, that ain't really cool. Like people ain't gonna like, they not gonna like uplift me about what I'm saying. They gonna laugh, you know what I mean? And so I think that's a social media thing. What do you think about social media and like how it has affected people's mental health for real?
Whew. Social media has really affected the youth in general.
Yeah, like in a negative manner?
Yeah, like comparison, and a lot of times like people who are like influencers, like I said, I work with eating disorders. Like there are influencers out there that have been like, I've had an eating disorder, I'm recovering from it, or they say they're glorifying it. So they're like showing off like their bare bones and things like that, and they're like, I really want to be skinny, or they're like, this is how much I've eaten. Like you've heard of like mukbangs or something like that. That is like binge eating and things like that. It's pretty bad. I feel like it really just the comparison. We naturally are humans. We compare and judge others, but I think social media has made it worse. Yeah,
I would definitely say it too. I just wanted to see like, what was your point of view on it?
We never gonna get away from it, so I don't hate it. Like it is what it is, but you have to have your own discernment and just know that, okay, this is a little bit too much for me. Like I don't know if they're really living that lifestyle. What I'm doing with my life is okay. Just having affirmations about yourself, I think that would make it a little bit easier.
Right, and you know what I do? So like sometimes when I wake up in the morning, I used to just grab my phone, like,
absolutely,
like, I'm ready to tap back in. But I'm like, bro, you just woke up, chill, thank God, like, you know what I mean? Then grab your phone, but it's just like, I had that so bad, and I still struggle with it sometimes. Like I just grab my phone, I'm like, bro, stop doing that. Like, you know, like,
I struggle with waking up though, and I feel like the blue light. Yes, I have low blood pressure. Okay, so it's so hard for me to get up, and I think the blue light really helps me get up. So I will be on my phone, but it just depends. Like I may open a book or.
I'm sorry, but with low blood pressure, you gotta kind of fill me in. I really don't know about that. Like,
it's hard to get up.
When you got low blood pressure?
Yes. Like,
I didn't know nothing about that.
I could be like asleep, but like my eyes still closed, and it takes me a while to get out the bed. So I've gotten better, but like it took me a minute.
Man, I need to get that checked myself because I really don't know, like for real.
Yeah, it's pretty bad.
Yeah, that's different. So how did your family and friends react, like when you became a therapist?
I don't know. I feel like the friends that I had at the time, of me going through the whole process, they were definitely like, oh, my friend is a doctor and things like that. And like, I feel like they've always encouraged me. Even like my friends that I've had all my life, they've always encouraged me. It's never been like...
so you have a good friend group.
Yeah. It's never been anything negative. I would say my family, specifically my mom and my dad for sure, have been like, my baby's going to get it. Like, you doing something that nobody else has done. Like, keep going. My mom is always posting me. So they really are encouraging.
What could you tell like somebody out there like who is doing a good job or they working their butt off that's not getting that support though? Like what could like, you know, like what's some words that you could like help somebody with, you know what I mean?
I definitely would say like found family, you know what I mean? Like people who support you, you can find them. Even if you have to be your own biggest cheerleader, eventually somebody will say like, you're doing a good job. It will probably be a stranger. You know, strangers support you more than
strangers going to support you.
They support you more than people that you grew up with, but it's just like, that's just how it is. It's not personal. It's just that strangers, like with especially like streaming and like YouTube, you'll find people commenting things like,
really?
Like,
that's
I love
true.
it.
No, that's true. You know what? That helped me like keep pursuing my dreams. Like just do a comment on YouTube, somebody be like, bro, I've been watching you for XYZ long. And then I remember one time I was doing a concert, I was opening up for Kevin Gates in Vegas. A dude, a white guy, he waited at the corner of the stage, and he came to me. He said, "Bro, I've been watching you since you first did this song, Kevin Gates, da da da." And he started breaking it down. I was like, "Bro, you are not playing."
Yeah.
Like, you know what I mean? It was just like so crazy. He was like, "Man, what's up?" He shook my hand. I was like, I gotta keep going. I don't even know this dude, but he feels like he knows me.
That's real support. Like, they connect like through the media and things like that. They're like, oh my gosh, I really connect with you.
Yeah.
So
and that's what I'm learning too. Like, some people, they just watch your Instagram or they watch a video and they just feel like they already know you sometimes. It's kind of awkward sometimes because you're like, man, what you on? But it's, you know, it's support. It's support.
That's real. That's really what I would say. Like, there will be one person out there that you definitely will impact, no matter what. If you don't, if you know nobody in your family, no friends, anything like that, the more you post or the more consistent you are, somebody's going to say, wow, I love this content, or I love whatever you're doing.
And you know what? I think something like this, like minorities out there, when they see you and they know that you're a therapist, I think that'll give them like some inspiration and motivation. Like, you know what? I can do it too. Like, you know what I mean?
And it doesn't have to be the school route.
Yeah, especially like the young women too. Like, they see you, like, so yeah. They're gonna be motivated.
Yeah. Sometimes people do life coaching too. That's a certification. They don't fall under the same ethics and like liabilities as a therapist, but a lot of people have been doing life coaching here lately.
I see that a lot on social media, the life coaching thing. But I didn't understand it for real. So I'm
not real versed in it, but I do know that like they go through this whole process. Like I said, it's a certification. And so there is some liability in there, but it's not the same as like being an actual therapist. Like, you know, code of ethics, you can't do this, you can't, you know, HIPAA, all that stuff. So it's
kind of like, it's still...
Yeah. It's a roundabout way of being a therapist. Some people be like, oh, my therapist, and then I look, I'm like, well, they're a life coach. That's not the same thing. Like, they don't have a license. They have a certification.
Got you.
It's like saying I'm an esthetician, but really you just have a certification in lashing from some random person down the street.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
I get it now. So, you've been doing your thing for a year now.
Yeah.
Okay. What impacts do you feel like you've made in others' life when it comes to what you do?
That's a loaded question.
No, it's okay. It's okay. It's okay. You can just, you know.
No, because I'm really trying to think, because I've had a lot of people say different things. Like I had a 6-year-old once that I've probably seen them maybe like, I would say a whole school semester. So from like August to like the last of like November. And the last thing that they said to me was like, I love you, Miss A. And I was like, oh my gosh. Like, and we were just playing like a lot of things. We would play in the sandbox and we would play with dolls and things like that. And they really loved me. And the mom was also like someone in the mental health field. And was like, you really have helped them so much.
Yeah.
So that the clients that I see now, I feel like I get a lot of feedback and validation from them, just kind of saying like, wow, you are the first person that I actually genuinely connected with. I cannot stop seeing you. You cannot stop seeing me. And I'm like, okay.
Dang. So they messing with you like they like, okay, that's good. Dang, that's definitely making impacts in the kids' life. Like, I think the kids are just like most important. Well, I'm not saying it like that, but the kids are very important because like they coming up, like, you know?
Yeah.
So the way they're feeling and like the way they thinking, like, shit, they gonna be the next generation. So it's just like, yeah, we gotta count on them because they gonna change all this shit. Like, we making a difference too, but the kids definitely gonna be next up. So we gotta definitely look at it like that.
I'd be like, don't forget about me. I had a client that was like, I'm an aspiring rapper, and I was like, okay.
Wait, how old was this client?
13.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
13.
Okay.
And like, they was just like, you know, I just make sure I write my raps, I do my music, like I'm committed. And that was the only way I could connect with them, because if I tried anything else, it was just like, I don't need this, like I'm not here, blah, blah, blah. And I was like, well, it sounds like you do kind of need it, because what I'm seeing is this, like you've done this is how you ended up here. So, but the music was the only way. And so I was like, okay, play it. Let's dissect it. Like, let's go through it and like, let's make an album. How would you do the album if you had the equipment and the money? And like, why are you making this song? What would that be? Why is that important to you? What would you name that song? Especially doing albums of your life. That's my favorite one to do with kids.
Dang, that's kind of dope though. Like, that's kind of dope. So
I love that.
So What type of music did this kid make?
Rap music for sure.
Like it was like
It was definitely some
YN.
Yeah,
No,
yeah,
it's cool. But you figured out like how to meet him on his level.
Yeah.
Dang, that takes a lot of like creativity for sure.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Dang, for you to be able to do that, like that's definitely that's big.
That's why I like working with kids. It's a lot easier. I'm not trying to shade my adults. Like I do love my adults. I can be real with them. I don't have to sugarcoat anything. But with my kids, it's like you can be a kid again too. Like I never wear jeans when I'm with them. I'm wearing like yoga pants because we're painting. We're getting dirty. There's sand everywhere, and we're just having a good time. But you learn so much through their play and their story, and you're figuring out like, wow, you have been through a lot. Just the way that you say like, this Barbie doll is getting a divorce to this Barbie doll. It's like, how do you even know what the word divorce is? Like, why are the Barbie dolls arguing? Why is the kid over here lonely? You know, like just really observing them and be like, wow, like you telling the story that's going on in your household right now.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah.
That's deep.
Yeah.
Cause the kids they be listening.
Yeah.
They be watching. They watch everything they see.
Yeah.
That's deep. So like they be really telling you without you even really having to just ask about certain things.
Yeah, yeah. I'm like, I didn't. Okay, you know the artist Selena that had passed away. Okay, I'm so ashamed to say that I did not know anything about Selena, but my client,
She was shot.
Yeah, I didn't know that, but or something like that. But my client told me that, and they was definitely below the age of 8. It was like, did you know Selena? Okay, and so the baby doll was Selena, and then she pretty much interacted like, oh, this is Selena. What happened to her? I was like, oh, she got shot. Got it. Understood. Wow. I mean, I can't redirect that. That's just what you seen. She probably watched the movie. So I was like, oh, wow.
I've never watched the movie, but I see a lot of people to this day, they still post Selena.
Yeah,
like,
she was like, I love Selena. I was like, oh.
Yeah.
Well.
Dang, so you be seeing like, you see just a lot of just different races, different age groups.
Absolutely.
And I heard you mention you seen a 65-year-old. Well, I know. Okay, obviously, I don't want you to tell too much about it, but when someone's 65, like, what are they most likely coming for? Probably like missing their people. Like they really ain't got a lot of people.
Either it's a lot of grief or trauma. Like they're realizing like people in my life have really left me, and so like they're saying I need to work on these things and realizing that they don't have anybody. Loneliness is the number one thing that I see that males come for. Older males, like just. They're so lonely and they're like, I'm on the verge of like depression. Like I'm literally about to unalive myself because I just will do it. Men are the most likely to do it because they're committed. Like they're serious. They will. And so that's really, I would say like the older generation is just like a lot of loneliness and depression, grief, and just they don't know their purpose anymore.
Dang, I know you be feeling kind of like.
Yeah.
How do you handle all of this though? Like hearing so many people like problems and emotions. Do you try like you just got like this way you just set it up to where it's like, okay, I know how to handle this stuff and I know how to like, it's like a balance. You have just a life balance, or you learning still like.
I have to readjust each day. I feel like sometimes in a week I'm like, okay, this is how my morning is going. I definitely need my morning to myself. Sometimes I'll have clients in the morning, but I need my morning to myself. I need to manage everything that I'm going through. And sometimes I feel like I'm in a different world, right? Like I'm like, hey, like how are you doing? It just feels like talking to a friend, but you have boundaries. And so I'm just trying to like, update me. What's been going on? What's your last week been like? Like how was your weekend? And I'm just kind of in there. And then once I'm done, sometimes I'm not really as invested because I'm trying to figure out what I'm going to say next, or like, what interventions can I use, or like, oh my gosh, this sounds like whatever. And I'm trying to go through and therapize it all. So once I'm done, I'm like, okay, I'm done with this. And I go on about my life. I'm compartmentalized. I'm not thinking about it no more. Like, love y'all to pieces, but I'm done now.
Yeah, because you're only one person.
Yeah, I'm done. Like, do I think about them sometimes? Yeah, absolutely. When I see certain things, I'm like, wow, like, I remember my client tell me about that. Or I didn't even know about this movie. Like, okay, I'm going to watch this.
You ever seen things called Hitch?
I have seen it, but it was a while back.
Okay, so basically it was Will Smith, and he was basically like helping dudes like that were, let's say, shy.
Oh wait, because he was trying to help the white dude like get a date or something like that.
Yeah. So is that like considered a life coach?
I would think so. I would think
No,
that.
I'm just saying, like,
I would think that's what I would think of a life coach as. Like, I help couples too.
Yeah.
And that's a different thing, because when you think of therapy, you think of like, I'm helping this individual. But when it comes to relationships, the relationship is my client. So a lot of times when people go, especially for marriage, if they're going to counseling, 9 times out of 10 is because they either are getting ready to get a divorce, or this is the last step before they get a divorce. And they just trying to see, is this gonna make it work? If not, then we done.
Yeah.
So a lot of times it's
What did you think about Kevin Samuels?
What about him?
What did you think about him before he passed?
I thought he was very honest.
Okay. He was a life coach.
Yeah.
He was a life coach.
That's the difference.
That's why I'm just like, life coach. I heard this.
That's the difference. Like, he
Kevin
can do all of that,
Samuels
and there's
was a
no
life
ethical
coach.
liability to it. I wish I would get on there and do that. My license gone. Out of there.
Okay, I got you.
No.
Okay.
Like, the celebrity therapists that you see like on TV and stuff, they don't have an active license a lot of the times. Like, they probably have a PhD, or they went and got like a master's of counseling and things like that. But to see them say licensed professional counselor, they typically don't. They have the credentials.
Got you.
They could go take the test, but they're probably not active.
Got you. Okay.
Yeah.
Now it makes sense. Because I'm just like, how are so many people doing it so freely? So yeah, I'm just like, man, it's something to it, obviously, but
Yeah.
I'm glad you could break that down for us, because I'm sure it's a lot of people.
Yeah, I
who
want to
have
do
these
that.
questions.
I wanted to do that too. I was like, I want to be a celebrity therapist, and there are celebrity therapists out there, but you would never see them in the limelight ever. Like, no, they probably signed an NDA and everything. Like, you will never see them in the limelight ever.
Yeah.
No matter
Yeah.
what happens.
That's crazy. So like, looking back on your journey, like, what are you most proud of? Like, coming from just you, from just your journey.
I just think my practice in general. Like,
So this is everything to you, like.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. This is my baby. Like, I feel like my practice is just at the beginning stages, right? It's a newborn. It's just, I'm trying to,
So do you get more of a rush from this than cheerleading?
Ooh, yes.
That's major though, because
Yes.
obviously you love the cheerleading. Like
Yeah,
you've been doing
I
that.
definitely
you did
love
that.
cheer.
Yeah.
That was really great. That's helped me a lot in my like areas too, because of like, being disciplined and the dedication and things like that, and just my life experience. I think my life experience really helps me, and that's how I build rapport so quickly. I think that's my #1 strength with my clients. It's like, they're like, oh, I feel like I know you so long. It's like, because I'm being authentic, I'm being real. And I think my practice in general just kind of describes that. Like, the acronym for my business is ME, so me. And I think that's just kind of what my practice embodies.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay. I'm definitely more like interested to like just like know more now that I actually like know somebody who's a therapist. It's like, it's different, because like, you just go out, like, or if you go like get a therapist, it's like you got so many thoughts. Like, I wonder like what they done been through.
Yeah.
Like, I've had a therapist one time, and man, she made me like relate. Like, I could just relate to her, like, 'cause she was like, you know what, I went through this before. I was trying to. She told me her little story, and I was like, dang, I could, like, she kind of can relate. She can relate to me, She was a black woman too, and she was a black woman too. So it was just like, dang, like, I can actually talk. I got somebody to talk to. Is it a lot of minorities that's therapists now?
I think so, yeah. Like, I feel like maybe because I'm just in the groups too, like there's Facebook groups and things like that, and I've just really been connecting with a lot of people that are black therapists, or people that's coming up and saying like, oh, I really want to start doing this, or I'm going into my internship, what should I do? Like, people reaching out to me because like I've said, oh, I'm in counseling, or I've done this before. So I think that there are more. What we don't have is a lot of males. That is the minority in counseling. You will see a lot of white women. That's the #1. Then you'll see more black women, Hispanic women, Asian women. They're more likely to be psychiatrists and psychologists though. And then white males and black males are like probably on the bottom.
What do you think it is with men, like, being like what do you think?
I have no idea. I think it's just being vulnerable about emotions, because that's really what it is. Like how you were saying with your previous therapist of like saying that she can relate to these different things. It's not about the life experience, it's about the emotion. Like I know what it's like to feel sad. I know what it's like to feel terrified. So if you're telling me about a story where you were once scared or you felt resentful, I relate to that. Like that makes sense why you would feel like that.
You know what, just my opinion, this is just an opinion. I think women may be more compassionate.
Yeah. Empathetic.
Yeah, like
you have to have empathy.
Like, you know, and y'all like y'all are probably willing to be like more vulnerable than men are. Yeah. Like, you know what I mean? Trying to, you know, I'm not saying, you know, men aren't and can't be that, but I just feel like that's probably why it's like a greater number.
Yeah, more than likely. But there's different theories out there too. Like there are some theories where you just can be very, very compassionate. And other theories is like, I'm straight to the point. Like, what did you come here for? What are the goals? And this is how we're going to get to it. And sometimes I'm like, I can't do that. I need to know like what happened to your family? Like, why are you responding this way? Like, let's actually go through the whole process. I think that's just overall my theory of like, I want you to have more awareness about why you're making these decisions so that you don't have to rely on me. This isn't a lifelong journey with me. You can do it on your own.
Right.
So.
Okay, so with yours, like say, well, what you do when people come see you, do y'all have to prescribe like medication sometime to some people? You don't have to do that, or how does that work?
I don't do that. I can make a recommendation.
Recommendations though.
Yeah, so sometimes I have clients that are like, I've never been on any antidepressants or anything like that, and they're not really seeing a lot of progress. And I'm like, okay, I think we need to try something because you really need to get stable so that the interventions will work more. Because if we don't, it's going to be okay, but it's just going to take a little bit longer than what you expected. You want to feel better now. And it's like, okay, the medicine's still going to take a little bit of time, but it might do a little bit more work than just the coping skills that I'm giving you.
Right. Okay. Well, this is a part of the segment we added to the show. I want to talk about some mental health myths. Okay. All right. Let's see. And so this is what I want you to do. I want you to explain, like, you know, if you feel like it's a myth and you got, you know, something behind it, you can tell us. Okay. So anxiety is just overthinking. Is it a myth or a fact?
That's hard. Okay. I'm going to say it's a myth.
Okay.
But overthinking does contribute to it. It's like anxiety is thinking about the future. So you're constantly trying to plan ahead that you're never really present. So if you would be present and sit with the discomfort of, I don't know what's ahead, you may be a little anxious, but you know, you'll be over it.
Okay, I like that.
That's a hard one.
No, it's okay. Okay. Depression means you're always sad.
Oh, that's a myth.
Okay. But you know, that's like sometimes I would say like, dang, I'll be looking at that sometimes. Like when I see I know people who just like seem like they stay in like a depression mode. Yeah. Kind of how we view Rod Wave, how the internet view Rod Wave.
I know. They're like, he just makes depression music.
Like we just think of Rod Wave of being just a super sad dude. Like every time you think of Rod Wave, oh yeah, the sad dude, he make the sad music, the cry music,
no, he's
like
just
the pain
emotionally
music.
Intelligent. So I think that's maybe what it is. But no, depression does not always look like sadness at all.
Okay. So it's another one. Therapy is only for people with serious mental illness.
Yeah, definitely a myth. A myth for sure. Okay. You could just be going through life transitions, whether you're getting married or you're going through a divorce or you're moving. It could just be anything, like someone had passed away, things like that. That's life transitions.
Got you. Okay, now this is a big one for me because, you know, like I've heard so much. I'm just not sure. I just want to know what you think. Medications change your personality.
Ooh, medications change your personality? That's hard.
So I'm
that's
just like,
hard. They can though. They can. If we're talking about like bipolar disorder, schizophrenia, like, you know, I don't want to say the hardcore stuff, but like the hardcore stuff. Yeah, they will, because someone who may be schizophrenic or bipolar that's not on medication, you're seeing a completely different person versus when they are on medication, you're like, oh, like you're relaxed, you're chill, you're not doing anything.
Gotcha.
And so it's just really, really different. Same thing with depression too. Like you'll start seeing them have more personality and be making jokes and laughing and doing things that they really do enjoy. So I do think there is some personality differences, but not differentiating from what you originally were. Does that make sense? Like maybe you're just getting back to who you were originally.
So yeah, I've been around like just say a family member or so. Like I'm like, why you acting weird? Like, why you acting funny? Like
something ain't right.
It's strange right now.
Yeah.
Right? And then we're like, oh, he took his medicine. Da da da. I'm like, but I can't really say, if it's wrong or right because the kid may need it. You know what I mean? So it's just like, I don't know. I just be like, damn, you acting very calm and chill. Like, what's going on? You're not being yourself. But it's just like, he getting things done though, like for what he needs to do, maybe his homework or maybe
ADHD, things like that. Like what you were saying about anxiety, like just overthinking, like maybe you have so many racing thoughts and then the medicine kind of like calms them down. And so finally you're like, I'm not thinking about anything. I'm not doing anything. So I'm just sitting here.
Do you think, you know what? I'm not going to ask that question because that might not be appropriate. So,
Go ahead.
No. It was going to be about cannabis, but I'm like, I don't really know if I actually talk about that.
That's a good one though. Ask it, please.
Okay, then. Okay.
Please. Oh my gosh.
So do you think like cannabis may help some people who just like overthink and
in some ways, right?
Anxiety?
A lot of people that smoke, they're like, yes, this is helping my anxiety. But then they become dependent on it and they don't know how to use coping skills. So now they're using these coping skills. And I always think
what's a good coping skill for somebody who just like to smoke weed when they feel...
Listen to me, follow me.
Okay.
So
please, because I might need it.
So a lot of times people will smoke and I think of it just kind of like drinking. When you drink, you're like, I'm drunk, and then you wake up, you're hungover, and it takes days sometimes for your body to, it's the same thing with smoking, especially for women too. They have that up, they're like, oh, I can't control my emotions, I can't regulate this, I'm sad and I'm mad. It's because you're smoking so much, your body doesn't have time to regulate itself. You get frustrated so easy, you're like, the first thing I'm gonna do when I get home is smoke. So now you're just high and chilling, and then you wake up and you tired, and you're like, I'm irritated, I'ma smoke. Your body it's not regulating itself. So it's the same thing with like drinking alcohol, the same thing as smoking weed. Like it does help to a certain extent, but people are saying, I can't control my emotions. Well, I think maybe we should look at these smoking habits that you have. Yeah, I've had a lot of female clients do that. They're like, oh, I smoke daily. And I'm like, no wonder you're having trouble. They're like, I never feel positive. Like, I feel like it's my cycle. And I'm like, well, we also have PMDD. That's a different thing that's going on too. But yeah, smoking, it helps to a certain extent for some people.
Got you.
But if you solely depend on that and you're like, oh, I'm mad, I'm gonna smoke. Oh, I'm sad, I'm gonna smoke. I just woke up, I'm gonna smoke.
Yeah,
we have a different problem here.
Got you. Okay. Okay. Because I've been one of them people, not one of just the people like all the time.
Yeah.
But I went through a phase before like, man, I'm irritated, man. I'm about to smoke. But what I do is, so I don't be dependent on it, I'll just go cold turkey every now and then, just for a while, and just don't smoke.
Yeah. And
just don't drink, don't smoke, and just, and when I decide to do it again, I will. But it's just like, I don't want to be dependent.
Smoking is really an escape. The same thing as like doing like hardcore drugs or like drinking and things like that. You're escaping from something because you don't want to sit with that emotion long enough. Like you don't want to sit in the sadness. You're tired of being sad. And so instead of like doing a meditation, instead of affirming yourself, getting out, getting in the sun, walking, stretching, exercising, you're like, the easiest thing for me to do right now is just roll up and smoke.
Roll up.
Because that instantly happens, but you're doing this temporary thing for not a long-term effect.
Right.
It's only going to help you for the next hour or so. And then what? The thing is still going to be there.
Right.
So.
Yeah, no, I get it. I do not think you should be like dependent on anything. Like I definitely agree. So for the last
depend
one,
on the Lord.
You gotta. Amen.
You gotta depend on the Lord.
So for the last like myth or fact. Okay, when it comes to social media. Okay, it's about social media, so I just want you to understand it. So when it comes to social media, some may say it's just bad for your mental health.
It can be. For sure. Have you ever heard when people are saying like, I'm scrolling, I'm happy one post, I'm sad the next post, like I'm jealous the next post, like because someone just had a baby. Oh, I'm so happy for them. I slide next. Someone just passed away. Oh my God, I'm so sad. Like just kind of going up and down. And I felt like that was kind of silly at first too. But then I started paying attention and I was like, oh, I'm feeling like left out. Oh, I wish I would have won. Or you just kind of are not regulating yourself. And so you're just kind of scrolling through these different things. And then you realize, I'm really mad because I'm sitting here in the bed with my bonnet on and somebody's out there on the beach. And I wish I was doing that, but I got to get up and go to work tomorrow. And when it gets to that point, and you have to have awareness, again, this is why I like that, to say, I know I just had that thought. I should get off my phone and do something else. Because that's normal to feel jealous or envious or upset because you want to be in that position. I want to be on the beach. Who don't? I don't want to get up and go to work tomorrow, but I got to. So,
that's crazy.
Yeah, it's so crazy how the little things will play on your mind.
So you know what's funny too? Like I did my best to train myself when I see somebody winning to try to like to be happy for them, right? Like that took like me training myself. Like when you see somebody, it's no hating. Like I had to tell myself that like nah, like we don't hate. Like no matter if you don't even really like this person, that's what's up. Like congratulations. You keep focused on what you doing. You know what I mean? Yeah. So I had to do that, and I was like, dang, I wish other people would do that. So like when I post my success, like you know what I mean, like you just like clap for me, or just be like, yeah, you ain't gotta throw no shade against me or nothing, because I'm not doing it to you. You know what I mean? But of course, some people don't. Like you said,
it's
they don't even.
Natural.
It's just natural, and I'll be feeling like that when I see somebody on a flight or vacation. I'm like, damn, I'm ready to go and catch my flight.
Yeah.
Like, they gonna be gone, and I'm gonna still be working. You know, like doing my shit, like you know. So it's just like, damn, I like you are really good at what you do. By the way,
thank you.
Just by the way, you just broke that there. Like you are really good at what you do.
I was gonna say too, I like the way that you said train your brain, because people think that they don't have control, and that's another thing. Again, back to what kids really want: a lot of control. I want control of this situation, or I feel out of control, so I'm going to do something so I can gain more access to control. And so that's a really good thing that people need to learn about their brains, is that I can control this, I can train this, I can do the things that I want to do if I set it up the way that it needs to be set up. Right. When I see things that I really want to do, I'm going to work hard to go do that. So you keep training your brain to do that, it'll eventually do it without you even thinking about it.
Yeah, you know what's crazy? Like I had been doing it, then I heard a song. I heard Lil Baby say that. He was like, he was training his brain, do such that. I'm like, damn, I'm not the only one that be doing that.
That's a real thing, yeah.
And my friends, they don't be listening to Lil Baby like that. They always got something to say. But I'm really like
Lil Baby.
I like Lil Baby too. Me too, man. You know, me too.
Yeah, Lil Baby, you need a therapist.
All right.
Hit me up. I got you.
I hope he sees
Dominique, I got you.
Okay, no, that's what's up. That's what's up. All right. But yeah, no, that's cool. That's cool. No, off this, they gonna be tapping in. You know what I'm saying? Because honestly, I haven't really just like talked with nobody in a while. It's like you got to answer for everything low key. Like I'm just like, damn, I should just come up with that like off the head. Like
I'm listening.
I know, but I'm just saying, like,
no. That's an actual skill.
Okay.
That was the first thing that taught me in school. Well, one, they told us, if you thought you came here to give advice, you didn't. Let me just tell you that right now. We don't give advice. So I was like, oh, my friends told me I give good advice, or people told me I give good advice. That's why I came here. They're like, we don't do that. And then they said, the number one skill that you have to have is active listening, right? So like little things of like minimal encouragers, right? Like you're kind of doing it right now. You're shaking your head, like you're looking me in my eye, like little things like that. And so those are
I read that somewhere before.
You really?
So that's what I just practice the stuff I read. But
right.
I'm just listening
and sometimes it's hard to look people in the eye. I don't blame them. That's why I like wearing my glasses, because then I could just, kind of look.
I have to be comfortable like with a person. Cause like me personally, I catch myself doing that. Somebody be like, "Why you not looking at me?" Like, I really don't know you like that. Like,
yeah,
you just
this is kind of awkward. And then what if I see something that I don't like? Now I'm just staring at it. Like that's kind of normal, right? So again, active listening, and I think that's really what it is.
They told us that in school too. Active listening skills. They used to always talk about that. I don't know what class it was.
Clearing my brain out, because sometimes I'm like, what am I going to eat right now? And you're talking to me. I can hear you, but I'm like, oh my God, what did they just say? Okay, let me pay attention. I'm not actively listening. So same thing what I was saying earlier about like, what intervention can I use? Oh, what did they just say? Let me just sit here and be active. Yeah. You just have to listen.
Did you think this was going to be like one of the coolest podcasts that you came on?
Oh, absolutely.
No, you didn't. You didn't think this was going to be the coolest one?
Well, actually, I seen the setup and I was like, you know what? This is nice. I like it. I did. I had to make sure. I said, hold on, this ain't no backyard shit.
Nah.
I had to make sure.
Yeah,
I've seen some backyard ghetto shit.
Nah, it's cool. I appreciate you for letting me know that too. Like, I like to know what people thought.
Because a lot of, obviously everybody now, if they get a mic, I'm a podcaster all of a sudden. And I've had friends that also do podcasts, and I'm like, y'all should kind of set it up a little bit differently or do this and do that. I watch my own podcast that I really like from my different shows. And so when I see certain things, I'm
just
like,
curious, what's your favorite podcast?
You would never know, and it's called Sibling Rivalry. You will never know what it is, but shout out to them.
Okay, Sibling Rivalry. It's like two sister, brother, or
it's two sisters for sure.
Oh, no, that's cool.
Two sisters, and then there's so many other different podcasts that I'm thinking of. But
so, do you have like any hobbies?
Absolutely.
What's fun?
Reading. I definitely love reading. Any type of fiction book, YA fiction, dark romance, thriller, sci-fi thriller, fantasy, romantasy, all that. I also do ASL.
What's that?
American Sign Language. I do that at church. But I've had clients who are deaf too, so we do signing.
So you know how to do sign language?
Yes, but please don't put me on the spot. Please.
That's dope.
So I do like signing like baptisms and like the Lord's Prayer and things like that, and Lord's Supper, all that stuff. So.
See, I used to do sign language, but that was back like, you know what I'm saying, when I was messing with the plug, you feel me? I tell them to send that.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, you feel me? Or when I see something bad I like, we tell them to come here, you dig?
Okay.
Nah. But real talk though, that's really dope. That's really dope. I want to see it though. I want to see it.
Okay.
I want to see you
come
do
to Wheeler Avenue Baptist Church. You shall see me.
Oh, so you do it at the church for the kids?
Not kids, but just anybody.
For me. Yeah. I'm sorry. So look, I go to Concord Baptist Church.
Okay.
Yeah, in Dallas. So. Every now and then I do, like I look up and I see like a lady
interpreting.
Yeah, so I'll be like, dang, like that's amazing. Like, you know what I'm saying? For them, like to still be able to get the message.
Yeah, that's also another skill too, because you have to be able to process. Like you're hearing something, you have to think of what are the vocabulary words that I know that I can make sure this makes sense.
I got a question. Did you see that lady? She got in trouble actually.
What did she do?
She was making it seem like she was helping the people in the courtroom. But
no, I did see that, and I was like, she's not even saying anything. Oh my gosh.
She cold. I'm sorry. That
was so bad. I was like, oh my gosh.
I saw
and
that.
And a lot of rappers now are starting to have interpreters. Like I think Waka Flocka was the first person to have an interpreter. Then it was Rihanna and somebody else too.
Yeah, because like. I do think that's like very special, like because you got these people, they like looking at you like they're a fan of you.
Yeah.
They see everybody else a fan of you. They want to be like, okay, I want to understand what they're talking about.
Yeah, and they can hear certain pitches though. Some people can hear certain pitches. Some people just cannot hear it all. So. Yeah.
And honestly, like when you think about it, it's like, bro, you are so blessed to have hearing.
Yeah.
Like, you know, like,
absolutely.
Like, it's kind of like when you, like, just thinking about that.
Sight,
like,
too.
Whoa.
A lot of people think
sight,
that.
Every sense. You blessed to have every sense.
A lot of people think that blind, like when you're blind, is just black. It's like, no, like they have certain, like there's certain different ways of like being blind. Did you know that?
No, you're
not just seeing pitch black. Like
so that's what I always thought.
That's not at all. Some parts is like it is black, but then there's like little different spots where it's just blurry. So they can kind of see what's going on. So there's people on TikTok that are blind.
Money Man, he's blind in one eye. He be talking about like half blind in one eye.
My cousin, she blind in one eye. She don't wear glasses. You know her.
Okay. You got it. Okay, will you tell me later? I'm like, dang, who? I'm like, dang, who? Okay.
When she watched this, she gonna be mad. That's why I said that.
Okay, all right, okay. Dang, that's what, I didn't even know that.
Yeah.
I didn't even know. Dang, that's crazy. Yeah, that's crazy for real. So, all right, dang, you guys. Whoa, all right.
We grew up together, remember?
Yeah, hey, you already understood? I got it. I didn't even want to like keep dragging it. So, dude.
Okay.
So,
Let me do a little silent with y'all. Stop.
Nah, it's cool. So this is how you say stop.
Stop. Yeah.
I'm gonna hit that. Somebody gonna be talking to which I'm. They gonna be like, what? What the fuck? Oh, okay. All right. So like, what's one thing that you wish like more people just knew about mental health?
Ooh, one thing. So many things, but to name one, I would say that it gets better around the third time. The first session is more informational, and you're like, what did I just do? I just went and told this person my whole life story, and this doesn't feel like therapy. The second time, it's kind of like, okay, I'm just talking to a stranger. But by the third time, you're like, I can't wait to tell my therapist. Oh, I can't wait to tell them what's going on because I want to hear what they got to say, or did I make the right decision? And so it just becomes like things like I really want to tell them, and I really want to know, am I making the right decisions for my life?
Yeah.
So.
Okay, I like that. So if listeners take away just one thing from today, like today's episode, then what do you think it should be? Wow,
I just said so many things, One thing I think that they should take away. I kind of gotta have to sit on this a little bit.
Okay, no, it could be just so much. It could be everything. They should pay attention to everything.
I definitely think they should pay attention to everything, but I think the main thing is to like just be aware. I think that's the main thing that I really want them to know. Like, awareness takes so much skill that you have to be aware that you are aware. And that sounds so insane, but to know that I'm aware of what's going on, I know what I'm thinking, and a lot of times you don't even have control over the thoughts that you have, but the control that you do have is what you linger on, what you dwell on. And so,
true. Yeah. That's very true.
Yeah, you think the craziest stuff all the time, but what you sit there and dwell on, that's really what you have control over.
A therapist told me that one time. He was a doctor or whatever. He said this, and it stuck with me one time. He was like, I have bad thoughts too. He said, I go to Walmart and somebody might piss me off in the parking lot and I want to shoot them.
Yep.
He said, but I don't dwell on it.
Yeah.
He said, when you dwell on it, that's when it's gonna get bad. And I said, damn, I don't feel bad for certain things anymore. Cause like, something happened. I'm like, damn, I want to punch this dude. Like, you know what I mean? It's just like,
it's normal.
I don't feel bad no more.
Yeah.
And it's just like, I'm glad, like, y'all know what y'all are doing, man. Try to make us feel comfortable and shit.
When you even the playing field.
It's
just pretty much what it is that you go to therapy and you say the things that you probably have never said out loud before, and you're like, oh wow, like I'm not crazy. I hate that word crazy. Okay, that is not true. Like to say that you're crazy, I mean,
what's a good word for it?
I'm struggling.
Okay.
I'm struggling. I have challenges.
Like, girl, hey, she's struggling over there.
She got a lot going on.
Got you.
That make more sense than to say she's crazy.
Yeah.
Because a lot of times when people say, oh, so-and-so is crazy, it's because they're reacting to something.
Got you. Is there any resources like you'd recommend for people who want help, but they really just don't know where to get help?
Ooh, Psychology Today. I just found this other one. This is more so a resource for like just anything, like whether it's legal help or things. It's called findhelp.org. You can type in your zip code and you can find any help from housing, food banks, everything.
Findhelp.org.
Findhelp.org. Black girls.
Findhelp.org.
Therapy for Black girls. I'm definitely on that directory as well. Open Path. There's so many different things. Just typing in counseling for low cost, anything like that. But definitely type in mental illness counseling.
Okay, I like that. Hey, I appreciate you for coming on the show today.
Oh, no problem. I enjoyed my time.
Definitely a pleasure to have you on the show. Hey, shout out to everybody who's watching. Stay tuned for more. I Hate Home.
I love it here.
Okay.
Woke up, paid, thought this was a dream. I just made me a play, just the boss of my team. Addicted to diamonds, spent 80 on jewelry. I know I leave, probably think I'm a fiend. Live every day like this shit's my last. I just sold a few bags and I fled the scene. I don't want no bitch talk back, I ain't here now. That I need my to be like a king.